There's a moment in some people's lives where something quietly shifts. They stop explaining why they made that decision. They stop justifying why they need space. They stop defending themselves to people who weren't really listening anyway. And instead of feeling cold, they feel free. Psychology calls this self-concept clarity. When a person finally knows who they are so deeply that outside opinions stop feeling necessary. Here's what most people don't realize. Over-explaining is actually a trauma response. When you grew up in an environment where love felt conditional, where you always had to prove your intentions, justify your feelings, earn your place, your nervous system learned one thing: explain yourself, or things go wrong. So you explained, over and over, to everyone. Not because you were weak, because you were trained. But here's what happens when someone finally stops. Their brain stops operating from fear and starts operating from security. Psychologists call this moving from an anxious attachment style to a secure one. They no longer need approval to feel valid, and that shift changes everything. They become calmer in conflict. They stop shrinking in conversations. They stop over-apologizing for existing. There's a Stoic principle that applies perfectly here. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events." When you stop explaining yourself to every person who questions you, you're not being arrogant. You're just finally understanding that your peace doesn't need a vote. Now, and this is important, not everyone who stops explaining has evolved. Some people shut down out of pride, out of avoidance. That's not growth, that's armor. Real evolution looks different. The person who's truly evolved still communicates, but only where it matters. They save their energy for relationships that are safe enough to be honest in. They stop performing explanations for an audience that's already made up its mind. Psychology researcher Kristen Neff found that people with high self-compassion, people who treat themselves with the same kindness they'd give a friend, are far less likely to over-explain or seek constant validation, because they've already given themselves permission to be human. So if you've noticed yourself slowly stop defending every choice, stop justifying your boundaries, stop rewriting your texts 5 times hoping someone will finally understand you. That's not you becoming cold, that's you becoming whole. The most quietly confident people you'll ever meet don't walk around proving themselves, they just are, and the world feels that.